Hello, thank you for joining. My name is Tamara and I am a feral therapist. I'm also a feral spiritualist, a feral philosopher, and a feral life coach. Also, I'm a house head, a therapy client, a cat mom, and most of all, I am a spiritual being having a human experience. And today, I am going to be introducing a card deck. Not really sure how we would refer to it as, but I think it's a type of oracle, and it's by Teal Swan, the Inner Compass. But this deck is a little interesting, a little different in the way of which it is really individualized. The reason why I wanted to introduce this deck and explain it a little bit is because I am planning to use it in some collective groupings with her other decks, and I'm not gonna use it the way she intended, but to honor her and the beauty and the amazement of this deck and what it's really supposed to be used for, I wanted to make a video to showcase exactly how amazing this deck is and explain how it's supposed to be used and go from there. Let's do this. All right, so this deck has 200 cards. Yes, 200 cards. And to start, there's 4 cards that you start with. Okay, so you have North, which is the very most important to me. East, which is important to me. West, which is not important, which is somewhat important to me. And let's see if we can zoom this out. Yes. And then we have South, which is not important to me. So these are 4 categories of importance. And you are supposed to go through every card in the deck that has different values on them, and then place them in each category that you see fit for you. So, forgiveness, significance, peace, faithfulness. Faithfulness is, I would say, very most travel, not inner peace, important significance. And really you should be reading these too, to get the definition of what these values are. And it's important to note that these are values and not goals, and you need to know what the difference of that is. And she helps you to understand that here in this book. She does a fantastic job giving you guidance in this book as well about, knowing the difference between values and goals and how to proceed in making your decisions. She does a fantastic job as per usual. Conscience, to listen and act according to inner feeling or voice, which is viewed as acting as a guide to the rightness or wrongness of my own thoughts, intentions, character, and conduct, behavior, and actions. To act in alignment with my values. So just for the sake of this, I'm just gonna go ahead and block a bunch out, right, just for this. So as you can see, this is really an exercise. This whole deck, right from the start, is completely about introspection and looking at self and really getting in deep. So now once you've already put this deck into your own personal circle of values for yourself, there are activities of different oracle spreads you do that is laid out in the back. So ways to use the inner compass deck. So the first one would be what we just did here, the personal value layout. So are all the cards in the deck? Yes, okay. Now first look through the deck and select the top 15 values, then arrange these in order from priority from left to right. Take the first 5 values and separate these from the remaining 10. You will now have 2 lines of cards. Top 5 will become your sole focus, and you will put all of your energy into them. The 10 values you eliminated are still important, but they are secondary priority. It is easy to justify spending time on them, but when you compare them to the things in your list of 5, you will see that they could easily become distractions. This means you're going to avoid putting energy into them until until you feel you are in totally alignment with your top 5 values. Think of these for now as avoid at all cost values. So that's just a little example of one of the activities. There's another one, the decision assist layout. Take whatever situation you are in and figure out what making any of the choices involved in the situation would give you. To do this, look through the value cards with this question in mind. What values would I be in alignment with by making that decision? For example, imagine what you have been invited to go on you've been invited to go on a vacation with friends, and you're having a really hard time deciding whether to go. You would look through the cards and create one column for the values that you would be in alignment with or get out of by going on the vacation. Then you would look through the cards and create another column for the values that you would be in alignment with or get out of staying. It might look something like this. And so here you can see. From there, arrange these values in order, priority, most important to least. For example, and then there's an example there. Imagine that the 3 top values are connection, security, and togetherness. Based on this arrangement, it might be clear that you would be more in alignment with your values by choosing to go on this vacation with your friends. They even have one in here for couples. Your environment. Obviously, as a social worker, as a clinical therapist, as a life coach, I am in love with the concept of these cards. These would be fantastic for anyone in those types of helping positions to work with on their clients, and definitely something you can do on an ongoing basis in some ways. Definitely would encourage anyone in those types of coaching or counseling or therapeutic fields to perhaps look into getting the Teal Swan Inner Compass deck to use with their clients. It's very much so based in line with the type of work for those fields. It's very enlightening. It's not at all overly spiritual. So you wouldn't have much to worry in regards there. So of any overwhelmingness of spirituality or religion getting involved. I find that Teal Swan does a very good job of balancing psychology, counseling, and spirituality quite well. That is why I'm drawn to her. For introspective awareness for clients who need just kind of some help trying to figure out what values they stand by if they don't really have any sense or purpose in life. This is really great for those people who are kind of losing a sense of meaning, people who might be going through different stages of their life and they don't really know where they stand, or they might be having some adjustment disorder issues with their stages of life. this would be a very fantastic deck for those types of folks. I just wanted to showcase this deck because I do plan on using it in the future, but not as intended. And I didn't want the significance of them to fall to the wayside. Thank you so much for your time. Hope everyone is well.